Han helped Val down onto a couch, allowing her to lay down and relax. Heading back to Val's office was quiet, with neither of them feeling like talking about what just happened. Once Val was laying down and looking relaxed, she placed both hands on her face, trying not to become overwhelmed. "Looks like that prince is a lot stronger than he was previously," Han noted to Lady Knight. There was a silence following Han's words. After some time, Val's voice could be heard muffled through her hands. "He is not the only one that has improved in strength. Many of the other nobles have demonstrated having powers well above what they were." Han pulled up a chair and sat near where she was laying on the couch. There appeared to be many parts that were moving in the city, with many of those who view non-humans as objects becoming more powerful, and my authority being nearly stripped. Her voice was filled with bitterness at the way she had been treated. "The knights under my command are not robust enough to handle all of these issues." I was surprised to see how much this place had changed, especially the mentality towards non-humans, Han remarked. "I know there were some sentiments growing, but I did not think to the point where almost all the non-humans would leave this place. The worst part is how the student council has reacted to all this. After the last time, where we were investigating the suspicious activity of the monsters, Val didn't mention how it was likely an attempt to get her killed. Nearly all the members of the student council began to keep me at arm's length. I tried to find out what was happening from the student council president, but I am now barred from seeing him. It seems like they were not happy that we made it back from our trip. The way he said it was as if they went to pick up some food for dinner from the local marketplace. It appears that you were right about how I should go to Felicitas. I am unsure what else I am able to do, especially now that many of the people who are instigating the attacks against the non-humans are stronger than me." Val sounded defeated, ashamed at failing those that counted on her. "This is not your failing, but those who are blatantly disregarding their duties for their own twisted reasons." Han tried to reassure her. Though she may feel like she was betraying those that counted on her, it was becoming a reality that there was nothing she could do. If she stayed, then it could lead to Han learning about Val being found in an alley. Though forcing her was never his intention, Han thought it was necessary to try and guide her to his own conclusions. Though I may understand that in my head, I feel that my heart will forever remember how I left everyone behind. Val's voice was a whisper, reflecting how she would be retreating from this battle. "Considering you are back, I can assume that something impressive had happened during the time you were missing?" Val asked Han in an attempt to change the topic. "Yeah, it appears that dungeon had a purpose, and all of us going there may have been part of something greater. Whether inside the city, the kingdom, or empire, there appear to be people who are trying to make something." Han was cut off by a massive explosion, as the door into the room was ripped off and flung inside, splintering into pieces. Han and Val began coughing from all the dust caused by the explosion. What was that? Val tried to ask Han, as she continued coughing. "It appears that we have unwanted guests." Han was able to heal himself, clearing out all the dust and letting him breathe normally. He looked to where the door previously was located, but it was now just an empty space. "Through the power of flames, I call upon thee to ash all those who stand against me." Several voices were heard chanting before the room was filled with scorching flames. Han rushed to Val's side and wheeled a shield around the two of them. The flames were vicious, burning everything in the room. If Val was by herself, Han doubted that she would have made it out. With his ability, Han was able to assess the situation clearly. There was obviously someone that was targeting Val though Han wondered if he was included or just a bystander. When the flames began to die down, Han removed his protection. At the same time, several nobles dressed up in armor and heavily armed rushed in. He noticed a noble that was outside the school gate when he dealt with Eric. "It seems as though we have someone with talent," the leader of the group yelled as he targeted Han. "I call upon lightning to smite my foe," he chanted and pointed at Han, shooting out a bolt of lightning. Even with how quickly the man chanted, Han put up a hand in time to deflect the lightning bolt. The air had the smell of ozone, everyone's hair slightly sticking up from the act of violence. Though Han was able to deflect the bolt, this did not stop another noble from slipping around Han and attempting to surprise him. The sword sliced through the air as it came down towards Han's back. As smoothly as he deflected the magic attack, Han turned and used the back of his wrist to deflect the blow that was heading towards him. With the other hand, Han placed a hand on the noble's stomach. As if time stood still, the noble stared back at Han with a shock on his face. "This is how you attack someone," Han grinned, firing a ball of fire through the man, opening a hole right through him. Like a sack of potatoes, the dead noble crumpled on the floor. The blood oozed out of his gaping wound, leaving a smell of iron in the air mixing with the ozone from the lightning. "John!" a female noble cried out, likely the girlfriend of the man that Han killed. She glared at Han and raised her hands above her head. "Flash!" the woman screamed, and caused the room to be flooded with light. Several of the other nobles that didn't turn away in time cursed at her. "Damn it, Kate!" a noble growled at the woman. Though Han was blinded for an instant, his abilities quickly removed the debuff. He pretended to be affected by the magical attack, allowing two nobles to rush him. One was carrying a dagger in each hand, while the other had a short sword. Thinking that Han wouldn't be able to react, they were confident about attacking him. "Eee!" Val cried out, not knowing what was happening. Just as the two nobles were near him, Han pointed both index fingers and mimicked guns with both hands. Each gun was aimed at the nobles. "Bang!" Han stated, causing two beads of water to shoot out as if they were being fired by an actual firearm. Though each water bubbles were tiny, they tore through the skull of each noble. The sound of bones cracking and noises of the brain being forced out of the back could be heard. "What did he do?" a noble in the back screamed after a chunk of brain matter landed on his face. "Shut up, Evaneth," the leader of the group yelled, right before he pulled out a dagger and threw it at Han. Hoping that this would distract him, the nobles then created a fireball and hurled it at him. Twisting his body to avoid the dagger, he then proceeded to grab the fireball and lunge himself towards the leader. Winding his arm back, Han thrust the fireball forward as soon as he was in front of the leader. "I think you left something behind," Han yelled as he pushed the fireball into the face of the leader. "Ah!" the leader screamed as the fireball incinerated his face. "Someone called the burn unit because he just got burned," Han said, chuckling at a phrase no one would use, even on Earth, for how not funny it was. "He never mentioned how strong this guy was," Kate, the girl with the bright light attack, screamed. "I did not sign up to be killed," another one yelled as he stumbled on some debris laying on the ground. Tripping, he fell on his backside and scrambled to get away. Seeing one of the nobles trying to run, the others began to rethink the decision to eliminate Val and him. Taking a quick glance back at him, they all started running out of Val's office. Once everyone was gone, Han walked over to Val. "Are you okay?" he asked her. This was the second time she was close to dying, so he was worried about her mental state. "Yes, thank you for saving me, though I never thanked you for the first time." Val tried to smile, but he could see that she was recovering from the unprovoked act of violence aimed at her. "Are you going to be okay here?" I am going to follow those nobles and see if they lead me to someplace. Han placed a hand on her shoulder. Val nodded her head, looking like talking wasn't something she wanted to do at the moment. Turning towards the former entrance into the room, Han silently pulled out a card and after crumpling it, he tossed it towards the floor beneath where Val was resting.